If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. I believe the first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up mod squad, MOB back with another Division 2 build breakdown video. Today I bring you a build which will make your legendary summit grind so much easier. Today's build, as you saw from the intro clips, is designed to combat and protect you against the strongest and hardest hitting NPCs in the game, from your standard elite NPCs all the way to the hunters on floor 100 of the summit. This build is very similar to a build I released early TU 11.1, which blew up and became a very popular build to use while farming the summit on legendary. That build got so much traction in the community that the devs soon after its release made stealth changes to the summit to combat it. I'm sure you guys all remember the changes. They decreased the amount of elite NPCs per floor and upped the aggression of the red and purple NPCs. Today's build will feature a new exotic weapon that comes with title update 12, that weapon being the new Scorpio shotgun. You can obtain this weapon by reaching level 55 of the reward track, which is tied to the season pass. Now I'm not a huge fan of shotguns in PvE, but this shotgun's talent is so strong I'd be crazy to turn it down. The talent we are talking about is called Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. 1 poison, 3 disorient, 6 shock, 7 target takes additional 20% damage from all sources, stacks no longer increase. Duration of the status effect is based on the percentage of pellets hit on applied shot. Now the reason this talent is so great is because there are 2 status effects within this weapon's talent that cripple NPCs, that being disorient and shock. While NPCs are under either of these 2 status effects, they cannot shoot you. So not only does this weapon make it easier for you to kill NPCs because they're crippled, but it also helps protect you from them as well, so majorly adding to your build survivability. Now when it comes to this build survivability, we have 1.8 million base armor and gain 60% bonus armor kill if we pick up a trophy, which makes us ridiculously tanky. I'm pretty sure we're easily hitting 3 million armor after picking up 2 or 3 trophies. This build also has 4% armor regen thanks to the exotic memento backpack and one piece Bellstorm armory combo. So we have a good amount of passive healing over time for those times where we get damaged and can't pick up trophies. On top of all that, we also have 72% protection from elites, which is what allows us to tank the damage of the hardest hitting enemies in the game, elite heavies, rogue agents and hunters. In order to reach such high percentage of protection from elites, you'll need improvised gear. Improvised gear has no brand set bonuses or talents but allows you extra mod slots on your holster, gloves and knee pads, which will help you gain an extra 36% protection from elites. You can craft improvised gear pieces at the crafting station if you have the blueprints. This build survivability doesn't stop there though, because we also have an Artificer Hive fed tier 6 Crusader shield which reaches 6 million plus health and self heals when damaged, so this build has all kinds of survivability. When it comes to the damage of the build, we won't be insta killing legendary NPCs, but we will be doing enough damage to put them down. This is thanks to a combination of weapon damage and crit damage on top of the Scorpion's 877k base damage. If I'm honest, you could probably switch out a couple blue cores for some red if you wanted to, but I honestly don't think it's needed as the build does well as long as you land your shots. Now before we get into a build breakdown, I want to remind you guys to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, as it pushes our videos into the recommended section and in turn helps us grow. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below and I'll reply like I always do. If you're new, subscribe for lots more Division 2 content, and with that said, let's get into the build breakdown. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, we are running a technician. A few reasons for this. One, we get a free skill tier which is going to apply to our Artificer Hive, making that stronger. The second reason is the Artificer Hive, that is going to buff our shield. Looking at a Crusader shield real quick, we have 4.9% shield health on this mod, 4.6% shield health on that mod, and then this mod has 4% damage bonus which doesn't apply because we're not using the firewall specialization. So here's the Artificer Hive. We're going to go over the skills real quick before we get into the build. As you can see here, we have 8.6% stim efficiency, we have 10% duration, and then we have 4 extra stim charges. So now we have covered the skills, let's look at our primary weapon, which is the Scorpio exotic shotgun, the new shotgun that has come with TU 12. You get this from reaching level 55 of the reward track. So as you can see, 742k base damage. This is the base damage of this weapon when all the buffs are not active. We have 130 RPM with 7 in the magazine. If you reload straight away, you have 8 in the magazine. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, we have 10% reload speed on the magazine, we have 10% weapon handling on the grip, we have 10% stability on the muzzle, and then we have the sight that gives us 10% critical hit chance. Now moving on to our gear pieces, starting off with our mask, we have the Badger Tough mask giving us 10% shotgun damage, we have 144k armor, 5.2% crit chance, 12% critical hit damage, and then 12% protection from elites via a mod. Our chest piece is the one piece of Bellstorm Armory. Now you don't have to run this brand set. If you want to do a bit more damage, you could switch this out for some Grupo, or if you wanted some crit chance, go for some Seska. So looking at the core attributes, we have 132% armor, 6% crit chance, 10.5% crit damage, and 12% protection from elites. We are using Intimidate. This is a run and gun build, like I said. While you have bonus armor, amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. Now moving on to our holster, which is our first piece of improvised gear. We have 170k armor, so we have max armor, 9.6% crit damage, we have 6% crit chance and 12% protection from elites. As you can see on this piece, I did try to recalibrate it. Moving on to the backpack, and of course is the memento, giving us 15% weapon damage, 160k armor, 1 skill tier, giving us a total of 2 skill tiers, and then we have 12% protection from elites. Don't forget guys that these improvised pieces give you the extra mod slot. Some people are still very confused about these. You get these at the crafting station. If you have the blueprints, you can craft them. They come with all different rolls on them, so they're extremely hard to craft and get the exact pieces that you want, but it's worth it in the long run. So going back to the Memento backpack, as you can see, reds give us 5% weapon damage, blues give us 10% bonus armor, and yellows give us 5% skill efficiency. We have 2 yellows on this build, so we'll get 10%. We have 6 blues on this build, so we get 60% bonus armor, and we have 1 red giving us 5% weapon damage. Now, when it comes to the long-term buff, we'll gain 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regeneration for 5 minutes. Moving on to our gloves now. Our second piece of improvised gear, we have max armor at 170k, 5.5% crit chance, 10.7% crit damage, and 12% protection from elites. And then finally our knee pads, max armor again, 4.2% crit chance, 10.3% crit damage, and 12% protection from elites. So that's pretty much it for the build guys. We're going to look at the stat sheet now. I'm not going to talk over it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, smash that like button, leave a comment down below. I'll reply like I always do. If you're new, subscribe for lots more Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad.
Get back!
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up Mod Squad, welcome back to another Division 2 build breakdown video. After seeing those intro clips, I bet you guys are pretty excited for this one. We're face tanking legendary reds, purples and elites and making a mockery of heroic difficulty. Today's build is one I've been holding back for a while now, reason being is the pieces needed for this build are not easy to obtain, but at this point in the Division 2's lifespan, I think you guys need something to strive for again. Now back when the summit was released, I exposed the protection from elite builds which dominated the newly added mode, and made a mockery of the strongest enemies in the game, rogue agents, heavies, hunters, oh and let's not forget Yannick the Beard. Shortly after those builds blew up in the community, the devs buffed the damage of the red and purple NPCs to try and balance things out, and ever since then the damage of the red and purples has been a problem for everybody until now. Today's build is a 150% protection from elites, 80% red and purple resistant, bonus armor stacking, crit damage, armor regen assault rifle build. This is a ridiculously effective run and gun assault rifle build that once you get, you won't want to use anything else. It's so good you don't even have to use a shield. When it comes to the survivability, we have a lot of it. Starting off with 3% armor regen, 1.5 million base armor, which with bonus armor stacks reaches well over 2 million. The bonus armor is also needed to help counter a talent that works with us and against us. This build has 70% protection from elites as standard and can gain an extra 40 to 80% resistance from all damage, taking that 70% protection from elites up to 150%. How do you get that extra 40 to 80% resistance, you ask? Well, that would be thanks to a weapon that only 30+% of you have. That weapon being the Eagle Bearer, which has the talent Eagle Strikes and Tenacity. This combined with protection from elites makes elites feel non-existent, and as you've seen, counters the insane damage of the red and purple NPCs, whether that's heroic or legendary. Eagle Strike accuracy increases as you continuously fire up to plus 30%. Headshot kills grant tenacity buff of 15 seconds. The strength of tenacity is increased 1% for body shots and 5% for headshots. Tenacity is 40 to 80% of damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. All of the total damage delayed is reduced for each enemy killed while the buff is active, up to 100% with 3 kills. This is why the bonus armor is so important to help counter this part of the talent. So that explains the stupid amount of survivability we have against all NPC types. Now I know a lot of people don't have the Eagle Bearer and it isn't easy to get, which puts a lot of players off when it comes to trying to get it, but hopefully this video / build can re-motivate you to try it again. There are many Facebook groups, Discords, raid communities and content creators who do raid carries. It's just a matter of looking and reaching out, because as you can see, it is well worth it. When it comes to this build's damage, we can reach 180% critical hit damage with 60% crit chance, so this build not only tanks but shreds as well. This has been my go-to build for a while now. It's one of those builds where once you use it, you struggle to go back to anything else. It is a pretty difficult build to make for a few reasons, as you'll see in the build breakdown, but in my opinion it is well worth it and one of, if not the best AR builds in the game for solo players. And with that said, let's get into a build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, start off with the specialization, and we have the survivalist, and the reason we're using that is because it gives us the extra 10% protection from elites. Now you don't have to have 70%, I would say the lowest you want to go is 50%, that way you can switch out the specialization or you can add another brand set to your actual build. So looking at our prime weapon, it is of course the Eagle Bearer. We went over this earlier in the video. Here is the talent Eagle Strike and Tenacity. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, we have 10% crit chance on the scope, we have 10% weapon handling on the grip, 15% critical hit damage on the muzzle, and then finally the extra 30 rounds in the magazine, giving us a 60 round mag. Moving on to the secondary, and I'm using the Carbine 7 with Killer. Killing an enemy with a critical hit grants 40% plus critical hit damage for 10 seconds. This is all decked out in crit chance as well, guys. We have damage to armor here as well. I'd prefer to go for damage to targets out of cover. This is for those long range beams. This weapon has no recoil and a pretty decent fire rate. The sidearm is actually important. You want to get the Orbit or a weapon that has finisher on it. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage. This is what is going to boost us up to that 180% plus critical hit damage. It seems like a pain in the backside to use, but honestly it's pretty easy once you get it down. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, we have 20% reload speed and we also have 10% accuracy. Moving on to the actual build now, guys, we have a Fenris Mask giving us 10% assault rifle damage, 14.9% weapon damage, 12% critical hit damage, 6% critical hit chance, and 12% protection from elites as a mod. Now you can get 13%, so you can get higher protection from elites if you can get those 13% mods, but good luck trying to find them, because that's like trying to find a unicorn. Moving on to the chest piece, we have a Seska chest piece giving us 10% critical hit chance. This is an assault rifle, so it lacks in crit chance, so we need the Seska piece to make up for the lack of crit chance. We have 15% weapon damage, 5.5% crit chance, 12% critical hit damage, and then 12% protection from elites. Now when it comes to the chest piece talent, you can use Obliterate or Intimidate. I prefer Obliterate because it allows you to do damage at all ranges. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. Moving on to our holster now, we have the first piece of our improvised gear. Improvised gear you can craft at the crafting station. You cannot farm for this, guys, you have to craft it. Mine has 170k base armor, 5.2% critical hit damage, and 6% critical hit chance with a 12% protection from elites mod. Improvised gear gives you extra mod slots for those of you who do not know. Again, you craft these at the crafting bench and the crafting bench only. Moving on to the knee pads, my second piece of improvised gear, we have max armor 170k, 4.2% critical hit chance, 11.4% critical hit damage, and 12% potential from elites via a mod. Now, improvised gear is not easy to get. Not only is it not easy to get, but it is extremely hard to craft and get the rolls that you want. So it's going to take you a while. So like I said, this build is pretty difficult to make. We have the eagle barrel, which is extremely hard to get. Improvised gear, you need a lot of luck when it comes to rolls. And then we have the backpack, which is the memento. A lot of people still don't have this backpack and are still farming for it to this very day. A lot of you are still waiting for the seasons to come back around so you can get it through the reward track, but this build will be here waiting for you when you get it. So we have 15% weapon damage, 170k armor, 1 skill tier, 12% potential from elite mod, the kill confirmed talent, guys. If you want to look at that in greater detail, feel free to pause the video. And then finally, moving on to our gloves. They are the Grupo Sombra gloves, give us 15% critical hit damage. We have 170k armor, 11.4% critical hit damage, and 4.6% critical hit chance. And I don't know if you've noticed, but all my pieces are not fully mid-max. I'm trying to max them out, so the stats you'll see today can be even higher if I get max rolls. Now when it comes to the skills, I do have a shield and a decoy. You do not have to use a shield. I was recently playing legendary, that's why I have a shield. I'd always recommend having a shield in legendary just in case. Better to be safe than sorry. The decoy is also very good, and so is the drone, the striker drone. That's my favorite skill to use, is the striker drone. Does a bit of damage, distracts many NPCs, making it easy for you to get those headshots so you can get the buff, and then just run a train on them all. When it comes to the mods on my shield, it's all shield health, as you can see. And then we have the damage bonus, which doesn't apply because we're not using the right specialization. The decoy, we have the 6% health and 7.5% duration. I was using this as legendary, but it doesn't last 2 minutes. So honestly, I would go with a striker drone. And that is pretty much it for the build, guys. I'm going to leave you with a stat sheet. I'm not going to talk over it. As you can see, 56.3% critical hit chance. We could max out with better stats. 132% critical hit damage. Obviously, could be higher again with max stats. And that goes up to 180% if we get the buff from the finisher from our sidearm. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Smash that like button to help us grow, help support the channel, help us with that algorithm. Leave a comment down below and I'll reply like I always do. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad. For more OP builds, check out the channel. We got all kinds of builds. All kinds.